Alright, so I'll just give some quick tips on Surface 2 Agent for 48. This is going to be very brief and probably not cover everything, but basically I'll just say some things that newer players might want to keep in mind when going for this timer. Basically anyone's going for 48. I'm no expert, but I'll just say some things that make sense. So starting off, you want to use 2.x. I recommend 2.2. You can use any controller, doesn't matter, it could be cheat stick or not. Just make sure you cruise control with the regular stick, reset, like hold the stick down left, reset the position with L, R, start, and then use a rubber band or something with the regular controller, upright. So it's like maximum strafe for upright for 1.2. With the cheat stick, you can just cruise control upright, and it should be full speed. So with that done, you don't have to watch any of the cinemas, though I recommend you watch the second cinema because you'll get speed. So actually, this is Mouser's video. I should have said that earlier. Mouser's 48, and he should have actually watched the second cinema completely. Not the first, watch the second, and then basically as soon as you start, you want to look down a little bit and go an angle to the right. Basically, you want to pass just to the right of this, like snowbank right here, and then you'll get to the tree line. So basically the whole idea for 48 is to have very, very tight lines. Now, so this is important that you turn pretty hard here, and almost feels like that you're like touching the fence, or touching the tree line. Like, look at where this, like, how close this is to the middle of the screen. It's insane how close you can actually get to this. So that's important. Once you're once you get to this kink in the tree line right here, you can tell this is the kink part. This is where a lot of runs deviate between Surface 1 Agent and Surface 1 SA, 00, everything. It's kind of like changes from here on out. So with this one, you want to have an angle that's like slightly to the right, but not exactly following with this tree line. So you want to just go slightly to the right. Mouser, basically just goes almost like parallel, which is fine. But yeah, you don't want to follow the kink. You just want to kind of like, it's as if you're connecting these 2 points with there's like an invisible wall here, and you want to follow that invisible wall all the way. Now this line is kind of important, but it's not the most important. Like, you can kind of mess it up a little bit. Basically to the right here, there's like a peak, and you basically want to go just left of the peak. You don't want to be on top of it, you just want to be just to the left of it, and then you're going to fall down. And then sometimes your screen will glitch out and it'll go black or something, like it falls underneath the level. That's good. That means that you're like on a good line. Okay, now just keep good look down, and then you'll basically eventually get to a hut that's to the right off screen. He just passed it, so he's fine. So eventually you're going to get to this part here, this T-junction, and the idea is you want to hit just this part right here. You want to hit just to the right of like this snowbank. You can look up early or you can like wait, but the idea is basically you want to look up about 60 degrees. So basically just have the satellite dish in view. You don't even want to see most of the building. And then as soon as you hit the upward slope of the snowbank, for 48 you want to throw it pretty fast. So as soon as you hit the slope, you're hitting Z. Now I have to also describe that at the same time you're turning to the left. So the camera's panning to the left as you're hitting Z, and then as soon as the mine leaves your hand, you want to immediately start turning to the right. So it's going to happen pretty quick, so I'll try to go slow. So he's starting to hit like right before he even hits the snowbank, he's already turning. But he's turning, he's coming up, and right about now is when he hits Z. And visually, it's when you see this, it's hard to tell, but it's basically this entire satellite dish is in the center of the screen, and it's all you see is just the dish. The mine leaves the hand at this point, okay? So that's really important, and he's already turning away. This is what makes 48. 48. It has a very clean throw. I mean, you can even go up further on the snowbank, but you want to do it as soon as you hit this like upward slope, because the upward slope allows your mine to go higher because you're basically pushing bond upwards, and it adds the velocity to the mine, so the mine reaches further and goes through the wall and can hit the radio and everything like that. So basically as soon as you throw, you turn, you look, and you want to go aim just basically, it's hard to explain. I'll give you a visual reference, but you just want to aim to the other side of this bank here. One visual reference is this dot here. You want to go to the right of this dot. You want to be like going, somewhere like this. This line is fine. As you can see, Mouser is basically standing on top of what I'm trying to say, and then now you have to make sure you're holding Z so you don't automatically switch to your PP7. And so what you're going to do is after the throw, as soon as you hit this snowbank, when you get to the top, you want to detonate right about now. You hear that? As soon as it gets to the flat part, you basically get like right around here-ish, you detonate. And then it should be good timing to destroy the comms tower, depending on how you threw it. Early throws are good because then that works mostly. And then before you know it, you're actually going to be here. So I recommend looking down here. I feel like it feels like it saves some frames or something. But basically you want to like just have a strafe line so you come not to this very edge, but you want to have it so if you turn as tight as possible, you're going to hit the door perfectly. Like if you come directly to this corner, you're going to get stuck and you're not going to be able to turn tight enough to actually make it to the door. But you want to be basically going like about a foot away, 2 feet away, 2 meters, like a meter away from the bunker here. So right around now is when I actually would start turning, or like, yeah, you can see he's turning already. And as you're falling, you're going to barely clear this this edge here, and that's important. And then this is probably one of the most important parts, is this door open. You need to open the door from as far away as you possibly can. It saves, it saves a frame, and everything counts for 48. And as soon as you start hitting B, you hit A, right? Like right now, to switch weapons to unarmed. And you want to switch from mine to unarmed. Mouser in this run switches from mine to PP7, which is a little slower, and it's actually harder to get the warp. Also, you want to look up while you're doing this, and you should like pop in the door on the other side, and that's all you really need for 48. So let's just watch the run in its entirety. So just to the right of the little snowbank here, you want to hit this here tight, get really close, kind of like go between this invisible wall, and you want to go just to the left of this peak here, okay? And you shouldn't have to adjust your lines at all, but you might have to. You're going to probably come up with your own visual references, whether or not you're on the line, depending on your view, like window and stuff like that. And then once you cross the two paths, maybe just one, I forget, you come here for the throw, nice solid throw, right in the middle, line it up, detonate when you get to the top of the peak. Look down. I would switch unarmed, or back to mine, and then forward switch to unarmed. It's like you back switch there, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that's what you do for 48. Okay. I'll show my run too, because I do the warp like insane. Probably one of the best warps I've seen for this, so give me a second. And let me see if I can open that real quick. Alright. Hold on. I broke this. Here we go. Alright, let me just turn this down. Okay. So, okay, let me stop this here. Okay, what you're gonna want to do, basically I do all the same stuff. I guess I'll show my line at the start. That's different than Mouser's slightly. So I just go to the right here. It's actually kind of a bit too far to the right, but it's okay. As long as this is pretty tight, I get really close, like so. I actually kind of messed up the line here, but I turn left a little bit, but not too much. But see, here's like, yeah, you just go right over the peak to the left of it, cross over this path, and then there's a hut to the right, and you want to not hit that hut, so you want to make sure you're going enough left. There's a second path, and about like 2 or 3 seconds later, you're going to be coming across here, actually more like 5 seconds. But here's the other one. I actually had to make an adjustment to hit this bank correctly. That's okay. I threw it a bit to the left, too far left, but it was okay. My throw is actually kind of slow, but it was fine. I detonated at the top of the hill, as you could tell. And then, okay, yeah, I basically kind of like hit this apex here, and then I start turning now. Okay, and then like right now I'm hitting B with 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 mine out, and then I've already hit A at this point. And then another thing that helps with getting this warp fast is you look up. So I'm starting to look up, I'm switching weapons, and I pop in really fast. So I think that's probably one of the fastest ways you can do the warp, like basically like that. And that that's kind of what you want to do. You either want to have like really tight lines and have just a standard warp, or you need to like have good lines and then just have like an insane ending warp. It's like different ways you can do it. Try to compromise on what works for you. I was pretty consistent with warping the dork well, so that's all I needed, I guess. Well, that's it. I don't want to make this too long.